Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone in the Philippines. Good evening, everybody who are in the United States. And magandang araw sa lahat. So we'll just wait for some other people to join us before we're gonna start. So for everybody, Happy New Year in advance. So can you just confirm with me if my sound is okay? Okay, so hi Angeline. Kumusta ma'am? So we just wait for others to join ma'am, no? And then alam kong some people may already have are too busy preparing for their preparations. Happy New Year. It's a new year, right? But I'll take this time to talk about national interest waivers for the benefit of majority of you are from teachers who are on J1 visa, who are trying to look for opportunities to extend. So just give me a second here. So as usual, if you have questions, just write them sa comments section, then I'll try to respond as the best I can. Okay. So hi Cram, Felix, Cheryl, Angie. So happy New Year, guys. Taga saan kayo? I'm based in here in New York, Queens. So we have an office in Davao, but that's our support office. So, but our main office is basically in Queens, New York. So, okay, so I just try to update my socials here. Then once we have that settled, we're gonna start with the presentation. So, ang topic natin ngayon basically is to talk about, again, national interest waivers or exceptional ability or extraordinary ability. Klaruhin din natin kung ano yung expectation ng mga teachers because there's a number of people who calls our office and set up a consultation, right? Because again, I fully understand their intention of finding ways to extend their stay in the United States after the J1, and I hope I will be able to answer some of your questions today. Okay, so habang naghihintay tayo, I can basically answer some of your basic J1 questions. So why don't we start with that? Hi, Ivan Ruiz. Kumusta ang Columbus, ma'am? Nagsusnow na kayo dyan? Saan na medyo malat boses ko. Okay. So, yeah. So, if you have some basic J1 questions, I would answer them. Kasi I may not be able to answer them once we start the formal live. No, kung may mga tanong kayo. Okay, so we'll just wait for others to join, and then after that, we're good. So just a heads up though. So basically a J1 visa, if you are approved of a J1, your maximum stay in the United States is up to 5 years. And then initially you're given 3 years. Then after that, it can be extended to 2 years, depending on the wishes of your employer and or your J1 sponsor. But generally you are given 5 years maximum stay in the United States, no? And then there are two types of J1 visa, those who are subject to and not subject to the 212E. So 212E means the 2-year home residency requirement. Ibig sabihin nun, pag you are subject to the 212E, regardless of whether or not your employer wish you to stay, If you don't have a waiver, then you have to go home to your home country and stay for 2 years there before you can apply for another visa type, including H visa or L or a K1 visa. Yun yung pag-usapan natin. But if you're not subject to the 212E, then you might have a chance to change status. But I would recommend that you consult your J1 sponsor or your employer because it might have some financial implications on the contract you signed with them. So, walang name to si ano no, si Facebook user, but I have a question here. Attorney, I am married to a US citizen. What is the best option to waive the 2-year home residency rule? So, teka lang muna, ma'am, ha? Okay, since we are waiting for others to join, I will answer the question nito ni ma'am. No? So, you're married to a US citizen. What is the best option to waive the second year rule? I would recommend, ma'am, na mag-apply ka ng exceptional hardship. Okay, so of course, there's a lot of factors that we need to consider before we could say if you would qualify. So it is just a basic eligibility requirements that if you are married to a US citizen or you have a US citizen child, you might qualify for exceptional hardship. You may also would want to explore the no objection statement from the Philippine government, but we also know that it's very hard to get an approval from the no objection statement for various reasons. But to answer the question, you might want to look into the no objection statement or the exceptional hardship waiver as basis of to waive your 2-year home residency requirement. Hello, Ma'am Anjali in Texas. Kumusta po kayo dyan? So, nagbabasa lang muna ako ng mga basic J1 questions. So, Ma'am Evan Ruiz. So, sir, if mag-apply po, teacher, saan sila madistino dyan lang ba? O pwede sila mag-apply dito malapit sa akin? Okay. So, it really depends on, and again, marami namang mga staffing agencies or you could basically look for direct hire employers. So, if they are lucky to find a job opportunity near you, they can apply directly. Or if they are dealing with a staffing agency, so it really depends on kung anong meron available na job order ang staffing agency na yan. Can we still use research proposal for NOS? Yes, that's basically big thing for the AVP. If you have some research proposal, you might have a chance to be approved of the no objection statement. Felix, my wife is a registered nurse in the US and she is a J2 holder. She plans to apply in an Indian hospital here in Navajo. Pwede ba siya mag-apply ng national interest waiver? So, boss, yun yung pag-usapan natin ng national interest waiver, boss, no? So, mamaya. We'll talk about that. But regardless of whether a J1 or a J2, if they are subject to the 212E, then they would, as much as possible, obtain a waiver or comply with the 2-year home residency requirement. So pag-usapan natin ngayon kung the NIW ba is the best option after the J1 or is it exceptional hardship or extraordinary? Exceptional ability or extraordinary ability. That's the purpose of our life today. If ang husband ko mag-J2 sa akin, pwede kaya say mag-change ang visa to H1B, chemical engineer po siya. I would, kung ang husband mo, ma'am, nasa labas pa ng US, I would, and he has the opportunity to work as an engineer here, I would rather start the conversation kung meron na siyang employer to start the H1B process or any other type of visas as opposed to mag-J2 siya, no? Kasi kung mag-J2 siya, baka ma-subject to the 212E siya, and then mas mahirap na mag-change ng status. McLean, thank you, sir. How about sponsorship proposal for certain schools in Philippines for NS? Do you think it's true? How about sponsorship proposal for a certain school or schools? Yung sa schools, ma'am, that's only after the EVP has determined merits on your application, no? So ito yung mga alternative arrangement na sinasabi nila dati. But that's far down the road. Ang una mong challenge is kung tatanggapin nila yung proposal mo. Once matanggap ang proposal, then you might propose that as your proposed exchange activity sa kanila para hindi naman masayang yung J1 program commitment mo. Facebook, I'm a secondary English teacher po. I have signed a contract with you. And I don't know. Okay, I would like to do direct application. Okay, ma'am, so deal with that with the staff that you're dealing with. Okay. Hello, taga California. Is April, May. I read something about J1 teachers na shorted and stay sa US because of reasons like nagka-problema sa employer, pinauwi ng visa sponsor. What is the chance of applying back to the US? May magiging problema po ba kapag bumalik sila sa teaching sa US? Well, recently though, marami kami naririnig na mga few weeks lang or 1 month dumating sa US, they were actually sent home for various reasons. But one of the reasons is nahirapan yung teacher mag-adjust no, sa kultura ng US o nahihirapan sila mag-deal with the students, right? Which we basically encourage people before flying to the US to really understand the nature of work that you are facing once you are here. Okay, so to answer the question, makakabalik pa po ba sila? Well, depende kung merong mag-hire sa kanila na bagong employer. But if they are already given the J1 visa and they are subject to the 212E, they have maximum of 5 years to use that J1 visa category. If their J1 sponsor, kung ang J1 sponsor na mismo ang nagpa-uwi sa kanila, so it means that J1 sponsor will no longer be interested in deploying them to the other school districts. Kasi kung option yon, while the teacher is here, they could have transferred you to another school district in another state or within the same state na hawak nila. Pero the fact na pinauwi ka nila, then there must be a reason beyond just simple your inability to adjust, no? So you can apply for another visa sponsor, and if they will accept you, then there's possibility na makabalik ka still on a J1 visa. Because if you're gonna explore another H visa, it depends on the person kung subject ka ba sa 212E or hindi. Kung hindi ka subject, then potential na makakuha ka ng another employer on an H1B visa. No? So again, to answer your question, May, first things first, right? Una, meron bang bagong employer na magka-hire sa'yo? And I'm sure that that employer would inquire into bakit ka umuwi or bakit ka pinauwi. And if they heard your reason and they are still interested in hiring you, then chances are makakabalik ka. No? So then the second question is your J1 visa subject to or not subject to the 2-year home residency requirement? Kung hindi naman sa subject, then you might be able to come in on an H1B. Pero kung subject ka naman sa J1, you can still come back, no? And you still have that 5 years maximum J1 visa. So I really hope I answered that question. Okay, so marami-rami tayo. So I'll just wait for 15 more people to join us. Then I'll start with our official topic for today. Can a J1 who is complying the 2-year 2 can still apply for the extraordinary ability O1 or NIW? So ma'am, hold ka dyan ma'am, no? Kasi yun yung purpose na natin, live natin ngayon. Hello Sir John, kumusta dyan san? See you when I visit Jensen again, sir. Hindi nila magustuhan yung school. Can they apply somewhere else or they need to go home and apply again? So if they don't like the school, their first recourse should be talking to their J1 sponsor, no? Kasi yung J1 sponsor naman, most likely marami naman silang school districts na ina-assist or marami silang states na ina-assist. So who knows if they will be willing to assign you to those states or schools. Ang problema nga lang, kung ang visa sponsor nga ang nagpa-uwi sa kanila, then they might want to look for another J1 sponsor or another J1 sponsor who will be willing to bring them back to the US. Okay. Grace, may way po ba ang J1 will change to H1? Again, so kung hindi ka subject to the 212E, you might change to H1. If you are subject to the 212E, you need a waiver to do that. Or you need to comply with the 2-year home residency requirement. Lourdes, ang question ko po is, I retired here in the Philippines. I'm a dual citizen now. Am I obliged to go to the US every year? Hindi po, ma'am. If you're a US citizen, you can stay anywhere, walang duration. When you come back, feel free to come back because you are a US citizen. what are my chances of a J1 para ma-convert to H1B? It really depends, ma'am, no, on the factors and the type of waiver that you would apply to be able to change or convert to another visa type. Follow-up ni May, depende sa rason ng pagka-uwi sa J1. Okay, good. Okay, so I think it's time for us to start officially with our topics. I'll change screen here now. I'll talk about our topic for today. So, karuhin ko lang ha. So, hindi ko sinasabi na national interest waiver is the best mong option to after your J1 visa, or is it extraordinary ability or exceptional ability? We'll go over those topics and then we'll decide kung what's best for you. Arman, I'm about to finish my PhD and already published 2 international research. Okay, very good question. So let's go over now to the topic. So disclaimer lang, guys. So I'm doing this. I'm trying my best to answer your question as general as possible. If you would want to talk about your specific situation, I would recommend that you consult an immigration lawyer. It doesn't have to be me. Ang purpose lang natin dito is general education of these immigration concepts. But then again, if you want to talk about your specific situation and specific issues, I would recommend that you consult with a lawyer. Okay? Immigration lawyer. So, balikan lang natin, bakit ba natin pinag-uusapan to? Okay? In particular, NIW or O1 visas are available to any profession, but for purposes of my life today, i-connect ko lang siya sa conversation natin with the teachers because most of our audience today are teachers, right? So it all goes back to if I am a J1 visa holder or I am planning to apply for a J1 visa and I will be subject to the 212E, then pwede ba akong mag-apply ng ibang category? So the rules are actually saying that I should apply for a waiver if I am subject to the 212E, or dapat uuwi ako sa home country of residence ko or last country of residence. So example, if you obtain your J1 visa while teaching in Thailand, so once your 5 years is maxed out, you have 2 choices of either going back to Thailand and comply with the 2-year home residency requirement, or going back to the Philippines and comply with the 2-year home residency requirement. But after that though, mayroong bagong policy update kasi, I think 2 to 3 months ago ang USCIS, and it actually creates confusion as to ano bang ibig sabihin nun. So i-touch na lang din natin. No? So the rules actually says after leaving the United States, after ng J1 visa program mo, then that's actually when you start complying with the 2-year home residency requirement. But then, mayroong policy alert ang USCIS saying any day where a fraction of a day is spent in the home country, it will actually count in your favor towards the 2-year home residency requirement. Ang question ngayon ng mga taong nagko-consult sa amin is, pag kunwari ba during the 5 years, umuwi sila ng Philippines, nagstay sila ng 2 months doon, will it be counted to the 2-year home residency requirement? And of course, as a number of lawyers have different opinions, but when there's actually vagueness in the regulation, we always go back to the intention of that regulation or law, right? So again, the purpose or the intention, in my opinion, about the 2-year home residence requirement is for the applicant to go back to their home country or country of last residence para i-comply yung 2 years na yon, right? So kung nagbakasyon ka lang, and while you are in the program, I personally believe that that doesn't count there. But paano ba nag-a-apply yung a fraction of a day? Kasi naintindihan ko rin naman na once you are complying with the 2-year home residence requirement at ang yung employer mo sobrang nagustuhan ka, gusto ka na lang mo bumalik the soonest time possible, then you would want to actually explore this opportunity, right? The problem with this one though is USCIS have their opinion in determining these cases na okay, whether or not I will count the number of days ng travel mo while you are in the program and count it in your favor, or even if in-approve sa USCIS, pagdating mo sa embassy, they can still have their own opinion, right? But since there is no settled opinion yet, or decision, then you're actually taking the risk. So kung kunwari lang, no, so kung ikakount mo yung lahat ng mga vacation mo and so on, and it only counts to 1 month, 2 months, but then you are actually running the risk of going to the embassy interview and then you can be denied. Of course, you can argue na, there's a new policy alert that says a fraction of a day that I go home to my country should be counted on my favor. Pwede naman yun, no? It's a challenge. Kasi again, hindi pa settled yung jurisprudence na yun. Wala pang decided cases. But are you willing to take the risk of, instead na maghintay ka ng 2 months, then maghintay ka ng 6 months, a year, kasi hindi mo alam kung kailan ma-resolve ni embassy yung issue mo. So, ang example kasi nito is, let's say lang for purposes of conversation, you are waiting for your 2 years to be complied, no? And then kulang ka lang ng isang araw or 1 week and so on and so forth. And you'll be able to actually show na after your program, you actually visited your home country and makukomply mo in 2 years, then to my opinion, that's what actually they said, that they talk about a fraction of a day. No? So let's just say, purpose of conversation again, nag-apply ka, kulang ka ng isang araw para makomply mo yung 2 years mo. But then you were able to actually to show na nag-layover ka sa Philippines, but your final destination actually is in Singapore. What the policy says is actually say any day where a fraction of a day is spent in the home country, then they will consider it as a satisfaction of the requirement. No? So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo kailangan magstay in the Philippines ng 24 hours to be counted it as equivalent to 1 day na nagstay ka sa home country mo. They will actually consider it, kahit isang oras ka lang nagstay doon, kahit 15 minutes ka lang nagstay doon, in your favor. But then again, different lawyers have different opinions. If I will be asked about my opinion, I will be on the safer side. Kung it is just a matter of days or weeks or a month, para ma-delay yung pagbalik mo sa US, I would recommend wait for your complete 2-year home residency and then set your interview at the embassy. At least pagka-interview mo, tuloy-tuloy ka lang. Whereas, if you're gonna take that risk, you might be further delayed in coming back because you have to file a motion or to request to reopen your case at the embassy. So, opinion ko lang yun, but that basically settled, I hope, with regards to the new policy. So, again, the next topics that I will be talking about is in relation to the J1 visa. Na pag you are subject to the 212E at pauwi ka na kasi matatapos na yung 5 years mo, then we're gonna explore the O1 visa or the NIW as a potential solution for you. Okay, so tigil muna natin, sagutin natin itong mga tanong na to. And again, thank you guys for joining me today. I know mag-New Year na mamaya, no? Hello, Kinsman family. Kumusta na po kayo? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining in today. And ayan, shout out ko sa Kinsman family there in Alabama. J1 visa po, halimbawa po, yung J2 ko, ang husband ko nakakita ng work na willing. So again, ma'am, no, if J2 nyo are subject to the 212E, so kung ano yung restriction ng J1, the same applies to the J2 applicant. So if they are not subject to the 212E, yes, they can explore other visa type to go and be able to work on a different visa. But if they are subject to the 212E, then they need to apply for a waiver. Sonny, safe po ba mag-ask ng advice or opinion from the US Waiver Division ng J1 extension? I learned. So, as to getting an advisory opinion, wala naman siyang timeline na pina-follow, right? So, but based on our experience, majority of the advisory opinions are going to come back as you are subject to the 212E. So, but that if that gives you peace of mind, kung hindi klaro sa record mo, kung subject ka ba talaga or hindi ka subject. So, pag-usapan muna natin kung bakit ba most of the people are actually falling into this dilemma, no? Bakit ba kailangan nila ng advisory opinion? Normally, you explore the advisory opinion if there is discrepancy between your visa or your DS 2019, no? Kasi posibleng ang DS 2019 mo says that you are not subject to the 212E, but then your visa says you are subject to 212E, or vice versa, then hindi mo na alam ngayon kung ano ba talaga, right? So in that regard, you ask for an advisory opinion. So based on the recent cases that I've seen, those who apply for the advisory opinion, chances are they would receive a result saying they are subject to the 212E. But to answer the question, is it safe to ask? Yeah, safe naman. Na? Wala namang negative consequences if you seek an advisory opinion. Clear faith, in my case po, this thing is not subject to, but this is subject to 212E. So yun yung ka-explain ko lang, no, na in this case, you might want to seek for an advisory opinion, right? But again, there are cases where we don't necessarily go to the advisory opinion. I would recommend that you consult with an immigration lawyer who knows about this, and they might be able to give you some alternatives other than seeking advisory opinion. Oy, aking mga kababayan sa Lupon, advance Happy New Year, right? So I'm from San Isidro, Davao Oriental, guys. So thanks for watching. So again, there's no timeline when to seek for an advisory opinion. But ako yung tatanungin nyo, I would rather consult with a lawyer first before seeking an advisory opinion to give you better options, okay? Is there a waiver if my recognition or award and J1 teacher in a state level? Very good, no? That could be a very good example natin for O1 or NIW. So let's take a look. During the home rule at mag-tour sa Asian country for 5 days, makita ba ito? Hindi po. So enjoy your vacation, Angelo. So it doesn't have impact on your J1 visa. Rose, ask po, my friend, na J1 visa subject. Kung ang I-130 is a spouse visa petition. So, ang sinasabi dito, kung madi-deny ba yung I-130, will it affect if mag-apply ulit siya ng J1 visa? So, again, boss, no, the ability for you to apply for a J1 visa relies on the question of are they subject to the 212E or not subject to the 212E or na-comply na ba nila yung 5, na-max out na ba nila yung 5 years? If they are not subject to the 212E and they already have maximized their 5 years, I really recommend that you go with other visa if you don't want to deal with all these problems that we will be talking about now. No? But to answer the question, kung gusto niyo pa rin ng J1, yeah, of course, you can apply for the J1 visa. Okay? The denial or approval of an I-130 petition, which is a spouse visa petition, has nothing to do with your J1 visa reapplication or application. Mel, if natapos yung 3 years program, subject po ba or mas okay na mag-advisory opinion? If di po natapos ang 3-year program, okay, so again, the advisory opinion, you only resort to that kung hindi klaro sa'yo kung subject ka ba or hindi. No. So example, if your visa says you are subject to, and then yung DS 2019 mo, sinabi din yung subject to ka, then there is no need for you to apply for an advisory opinion because you are subject to. No? An advisory opinion, nagsasabi lang siya, kinaklaro lang niya kung subject ka ba talaga or not subject to. So again, another example, if your visa and DS 2019 says you are not subject to the 212E, then there is no need for you to seek for an advisory opinion because klaro naman yung dalawang documents na yan. So you only resort to advisory opinion if either of the two documents are not the same. Then you seek an advisory opinion to clarify that. Hello, Ma'am Cherry and Miss Faye. Thank you for watching po. Okay, tuloy na tayo, guys. But else, hindi tayo matatapos. No? So I really hope, again, the purpose of this slide is basically to tell you na bakit ba natin pag-uusapan tong mga NIW O1 visas na to. This is just in relation to you guys who are now J1 visa and subject to the 20, ano bang pwede nating option na magawa. Okay? So again, another thing that we need to understand first before we talk about the O1 visa and the NIW is to understand employment-based preference categories. Okay? And I really hope that you would, and again, kung may tanong kayo dito sa portion na to, uunahin ko yung tanong nyo. because it's very important that we understand these categories. So in employment-based visa, so pag narinig nyo mga EB, ibig sabihin lang nun, employment-based. And then, meron kang preference 1, 2, 3, EB3, EB2, EB1. Maririnig nyo yan no? Especially if you are already in the US. So when you actually talk EB1, this is the first preference category. At doon nagpo-fall ang extraordinary ability or achievement. So may nagtanong sa atin kanina no, na okay, I have a recognition in a state level. Will I qualify for extraordinary ability? Or maybe I would qualify for the national interest waivers, right? So, you need to understand kung saan ka papasok because may difference yun. Marami to, and it could be complicated because employment-based visas are complicated. That's why in this category, your employers normally seek the help of a lawyer to guide them with the complexity and the long process of this type of visas. So yung EB1, mataas na category yun. No? So kagaya ng sinasabi ko, and I really hope that you can see my screen here. Extraordinary ability or achievement, very top of their field, no? Dito pumapasok yung mga Nobel Prize winners natin or yung mga Oscars or talagang top of the field. They are on top in their chosen field, no? So doon papasok yung extraordinary ability. Ngayon, let's talk about the description. These are referring to the people who have extraordinary ability in the sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics, or motion, or TV. So, may pag-asa tayo dito mga teachers, no? Kasi nga, pasok dito yung education. And then we go to the EB2, exceptional ability. So, hindi mo kailangang ipakitang you are the best in your in your class. No? So, kunwari, SPED teacher ako, hindi ko kailangan ipakita akong the best SPED teacher in the world, no? Because that's EB1, extraordinary ability. In EB2, you only need to show you are significantly above the ordinary, no? And may factors tayo pag-uusapan dyan, okay? May difference din kung you fall into the EB1 and the EB2. Dito din papasok yung mga advanced degree. So halimbawa, most of the state requires SPED teachers to have a master's degree to have an H-1B. Pero hindi yan required if you're applying for a J-1 visa. So, while you're on a J-1, let's say nagkaroon ka ng advanced degree and you would want to extend your stay, pwede ba ako ngayon mag-EB2 advanced degree? Or pwede ba akong mag-EB2 national interest waiver or exceptional ability? Yun yung pag-uusapan natin. So for purposes of our conversation today, I will only be talking about the EB1 extraordinary ability, the NIW, and the exceptional ability. Yung EB3 natin, dito papasok yung all other professionals, right? Lahat ng mga bachelor's degree graduate natin, nurses, accountants, engineers, accountant, engineers natin, dito papasok sa professionals. So even yung mga elementary teachers natin, no? Because as an elementary teacher, you don't have to have a master's degree to be able to apply for, kung gusto mo mag-apply ng green card, hindi mo kailangan mag-advanced degree. So enough na meron kang bachelor's degree. So EB3 yan, no? Dito sa EB3 category din papasok yung mga skilled workers. So this is any type of profession that requires at least 2 years experience. Yung unskilled naman, yung mga less than. So let's forget about EB3 ngayon kasi hindi yan yung topic natin. Ang pag-usapan lang natin is EB1, extraordinary ability, and EB2, national interest waiver or exceptional ability. Okay? Questions around that? Titingnan ko muna. And then balikan natin yung iba dyan. Hello, Miss Alikaway from North Dakota. Okay, next. So, EB2 categories. Ang pinag-usapan nga natin, dapat meron kang advanced degree. Kung hindi ka papasok sa advanced degree, pwede kung meron kang exceptional ability, no? So there are actually people who actually come to our office and actually says, "Sir, meron akong advanced degree. So can I now apply for national interest waiver?" So, to answer that question though, having an advanced degree is only a prerequisite, and let's see if you will actually qualify for EB2 categories. Okay? Dalawa yan. advanced degree, and exceptional ability. So pag-usapan lang muna natin yung dalawa. Let's talk about the national interest waivers first. So, bakit ba natin interesado tayo sa national interest waiver? Una, no labor certification is required. So again, i-connect ko siya sa normal EB2 na advanced degree or EB3 na mga professionals or skilled and unskilled. Pag nag-apply ka kasi ng green card, even if you have a J1 visa, so teacher ka, now you have a J1 visa and your employer, knowing that you are not subject to the 212E, would want to file a green card application for you. So hindi siya pwedeng ganun lang kabilis, apply ka agad nila ng green card, no? So they have to go through the labor certification process, which could take at least 2 years. So mahaba-habang paghihintay yon at pagpaprocess nun. Chances are, baka nawalan ka na ng J1 visa nun, or baka nag-renew una, yung 3 years mo, hindi ka subject to the 212E, and then nag-apply ka ng 2-year extension, doon ka naging subject to the 212E. Because chances are, if you have been extended after your 3 years, you are subject to the 212E. Dito ngayon pumapasok yung mga questions ng mga karamihan na sa atin na, hey, kailangan ko ba magpa-advisory opinion? Kasi yung dati ko namang visa, sinasabing I am not subject to the 212E. And then, I got an extension. Ang DS 2019 ko, wala namang markings. Kasi lahat naman ng mga DS 2019 na extension, wala talagang markings yan. Okay, guys? Kasi ang pwede lang magmamark nun, embassy. Nagkakaroon ka lang ng marking the moment na tapos na yung 3 years mo, umuwi ka sa Philippines, and then you appear for interview for embassy, for visa stamping, doon malalaman ng embassy kung subject ka or not subject ka. Okay? So, for purposes of conversation, after ng 3 years mo, umuwi ka ng Philippines, dumaan ka sa embassy, tinatakan ng embassy na you are not subject to 212E, then good for you. No? Then you can change potentially to another visa, or you might apply for the green card process. Okay? But, even if hindi ka subject to 212E nung una, then umuwi ka ng Philippines, naging subject ka, then you are no longer able to apply for H1 visa or green card process unless you have a waiver or you comply with the 2-year home residency requirement. Okay? So, kagandahan nito, kung qualify ka sa national interest waiver, hindi ka na kailangang dumaan dito sa labor certification. So, ibig sabihin, pag J1 ka, not subject to 212E, okay? And interesado ang employer mo na i-file ka ng green card, they might want, you might qualify into that. Pero kung subject ka to the 212E, then hindi ka pwede mag-apply ng green card. Unfortunately, the national interest waiver, even if you will qualify, kailangan mo pa rin mag-apply ng green card. We'll talk about that in the next one. So let's talk about advantages ng NIW. So again, no labor certification requirement, certification is required. Ibig sabihin, pag kailangan kang sponsor ng employer mo at nakapasa ka sa NIW, then hindi na sila dadaan dun sa 2 years na paghihintay para ma-justify nila yung position mo. Second, kung hindi ka kayang i-petition o hindi ka gustong i-petition ng employer mo, dahil magaling ka, pwede kang mag-self-petition. There is no job offer required. You could actually petition yourself. Magaling ka eh. No, kaya ang tawag, national interest waiver. Sa visas are generally available for the Philippines, but except for China and India, they might wait to some X number of years, even if they qualify for NIW. So there is still advantage of papasa ka ng NIW, no? So kahit na J1 ka and pumasa ka sa NIW. So for the sake of the teachers though, we would actually reconsider if you are on the state level awardee. So ito yung tanong kanina ni kanina. Basta, hindi ko na ma-identify, no? Basta, ang tinabi natin, if you are a state level awardee, you might want to consider looking into the national interest waiver as your way of getting a green card. Okay. So, basic requirement ng NIW, you must have an advanced degree, no? So, master's, PhD, pasok ka doon. Kung hindi ka naman pasok, kung wala kang mas advanced degree, pwede ka pa rin pumasok under the national interest waiver if you could actually prove that you have a bachelor's degree on an plus 5 years progressive experience in the expertise area. So kung SPED ka at wala kang master's degree, you have a bachelor's degree in SPED or any bachelor's degree and you work on your SPED for at least 5 years, you might still qualify for NIW. So, ano ba ibig sabihin nito? Kung hindi ka graduate ng master's in any area at meron kang bachelor's degree, pero wala kang 5 years experience on your specialty area, then you will not qualify for NIW. So, klaruhin lang natin yan para makasave kayo sa pag-consult ng mga lawyers, right? So, again, if you have a master's degree, we are talking about national interest waiver. If you have an advanced degree, okay, meron ka ng eligible ka na mag-apply ng NIW. Let's just see if you will pass the 3-prong test, no? Wala akong master's degree, pero meron akong bachelor's degree plus 5 years experience in my specialty area. Will I qualify for NIW? Eligibility requirement, potentially yes. Let's talk about the 3-prong test. Kung papasa ba tayo sa NIW? Okay, ito yung 3-prong test mo. So the proposed endeavor, so anuman yung project mo or anumang profession mo or anumang specialty area mo, it should be of substantial merit and national importance. So ibig sabihin, kung nag-apply ka, then hindi pwedeng general description lang ng pagiging teacher ang because you have to put an argument So kunwari lang, na SPED teacher ka. Hindi mo pwede na sabihin lang na, I will work as a SPED teacher. You actually have to prove or demonstrate to the government that aside from being a SPED teacher, my role is very important in this particular endeavor kasi my school district suffering because there's a lot of students that need special attention. And I am the leader and I am the one who designed the program. Yun yung tinatawag natin na specific role. Okay? Yung national importance, of course, right, SPED, there's a big number of students in the United States that requires special attention. It's of national importance. It's just a matter of how you're gonna present your case para makapasa tayo dun sa first prong. Ito yung first prong. No? So the proposed endeavor is of substantial merit and national importance. Hindi pwedeng general description lang ang pwede mong isubmit. You have to argue why you are very important for that particular endeavor, right? So again, being a SPED teacher, of course, you would want to improve the quality of education and lifestyle of the particular student through your intervention as a teacher. So dapat specific yung argument mo why your contribution is of substantial merit. And of course, the national importance refers to the nature of whatever endeavor you have. Second, you are well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. So again, we're talking about SPED teachers. Then the government would look into your skills, no? Of course, SPED teacher ka, medyo angat tayo sa argument na yon. They will look into the number of years of experience. They will look into the prior achievements mo as a SPED teacher. So again, I will just use the SPED teacher category para medyo consistent yung application natin. No? So they have to look into your skills and experience now if you are in the position to really advance that particular endeavor. Okay? Once na-prove na ng government yung A at saka B mo, then they will now see kung bakit ba nag-a-apply ng national interest waiver yung aplikante na to, because they are just trying to avoid or waive the labor certification process, which actually takes 2 years to 3 years, no? Wala kang time na maghintay ng 2 years to 3 years kasi gusto ng employer ma-secure ka, maging green card holder ka without waiting for the 2 years. So ito yung number 3. Based on the arguments, documentation that you have to provide to the government now will weigh all the things into consideration sa case mo, and then they will now consider whether or not if i-approve nila yung application mo, will create job creation, will it generate revenue, for the government, or is there an urgency on safety or public health that we need to address? Or in the case of education, maybe there's an urgency of really addressing the needs of the student requiring special needs. So yun yung prong test na yun. You'll be able to pass those 3 tests, then you will qualify for NIW. Again, klaruhin ko lang ha, balik ako ng isang slide. Dapat, kung mag-apply ka ng NIW, meron kang advanced degree. So, dapat may master's degree ka. Kung wala kang master's degree, dapat may bachelor's degree ka plus 5 years progressive experience. Pag meron ka nun, then let's look into letter B. Ang B nga is, yan nga no, proposed endeavor is substantial merit and of national importance. Dapat you are in the position to advance the endeavor. And third is, i-weigh nila yun. So, pag ang lawyer gumagawa nito, they have to make sure that they have a substantial documentation to support their arguments. No? So, malaking research ang effort ng law office or the lawyer to make sure that you have a very strong case. Okay? So, then the next question is, pag na-approve ba ang national interest waiver ko? Kasi first step pa lang yun. Pwede na ba ako mag-work in the United States? Unfortunately, you can't. You still have to comply with the green card application. No? So kung kunwari, nasa US ka, then you have to complete the adjustment of status. So ibig sabihin, mag-a-apply ka ng green card in the United States. Pwedeng ipagsabay yung NIW mo na application sa green card application mo. Pwede ka rin makakuha ng work permit. So, kung ma-issue yung work permit mo while they are actually waiting for your NIW to be approved, then you could still continue to work. No. So, dito papasok ngayon, J1 visa holder ako, not subject ako, but I also qualify for NIW. Pwede ko bang hindi tapusin ang aking 5 years at mag-apply ako ng NIW at once ma-approve, can I get my green card with or without my employer? The answer is yes. Good news yun. Na, so again, balikan ko lang ha. J1 teacher ako, not subject to the 212E, nasa second year pa lang ako, pero ang galing ko, nabigyan ako ng award. Pwede ba ako mag-apply ng NIW? The answer is yes. For as long as you have the master's degree or you have a bachelor's degree plus 5 years progressive experience. First case yan. The second case is, J1 visa holder ako, subject to the 212E ako, pumasa ako sa NIW kasi magaling ako, can I apply for the green card? Dito tayo may problema. Right? Kasi, pag-apply mo ng green card, there's a question doon, have you ever been a J1 visa holder? The answer is yes. The next question is, have you complied with the foreign residency requirement? The answer is no. Or have I been granted a waiver? The answer is no. So, kung wala ka dun sa dalawa, di-deny pa rin nila yung green card mo. But your NIW is approved. So, what happens now? So, pwede pa rin paghawakan mo yung NIW mo. So, kung kunwari lang, no, second year ako. Sa second year college, second year na ako ng J1 ko, na-approve yung NIW ko, pero hindi ako pwede mag-apply ng green card kasi nga I have to comply with the 2-year home residence requirement or the waiver. So kung ako ang sitwasyon ganyan, and I am eligible to apply for a waiver, mag-apply ka na ng waiver. Right? Kasi once your waiver is approved, you don't have to complete your 5 years to get your green card. Or if you don't want to apply for a waiver, then you just decide, alam mo, uuwi na lang ako, I will comply with my 2 years, but I'll come back as a green card holder. Pwede yan. Okay? So, I hope I was able to simplify the conversation about NIW and whether or not it is favorable to you. Okay, magtanong tayo ngayon, magbabasa ako ng mga question kung meron bang. Okay, so PhD holder ka, sir, pwede ka mag-apply ng NIW kasi nga ang eligibility requirement lang niya, meron kang master's degree, no? Ang exceptional hardship, pag-usapan natin mamaya. But based on our conversation ngayon, kung PhD ka, you already qualify for the prerequisite of applying for the national interest waiver. Hello, Sir Joel. Kumustang Davao, sir? Happy New Year. Okay, si Ma'am Becto. I already have basic knowledge about EB2. I actually already consult a lawyer, but I still need and obtain a waiver, right? The only waiver that applies to me is NOSINS is quite difficult. Impossible to obtain as may say. Or is really? What do you think, attorney? So, hindi ko masagot specific yung situation mo, ma'am, no? So, again, the general rule is if you are subject to the 212E, you really need to obtain a waiver or go home and comply with the 2-year home residence requirement before you can apply for the EB2. But on the EB2, I don't know what you're referring to. Are you referring to the EB2 dahil may master's degree ka, or are you trying to apply now EB2 national interest waiver or exceptional hardship? So can you give clarity on that? So, and if I have the chance mamaya, I will answer the question. Hello, Mr. Romero in Hawaii, beautiful state. Genevieve, what if inclusive education for 5 years as J1 straight? So, ma'am, what is the question po? Paki-clarify lang later. Is it substantial national interest if a teacher is a coach in robotics? So, sagutin ko na itong tanong na to ha. So, whether you qualify for extraordinary ability, exceptional ability, or national interest waiver, when there is somebody who would want to explore that, we really need to discuss on a case-to-case basis, right? Normally, when people consult us, I normally require a resume so that we could assess kung saan siya magpo-fall. National interest waiver ba, exceptional hardship ba, or extraordinary ability. It's very difficult to answer a question of, hey, kung robotics ba siya, and again, no offense man, no? Robotics ba, magka-qualify ba ako? It's not as easy as that, no? So again, very basic requirement. NIW pa lang pag-uusapan natin. Eligibility requirement mo, kung mayroon kang master's degree, pasok ka. Kung wala kang, pag mayroon kang bachelor's degree, wala kang master's, but meron kang 5 years experience, pasok ka doon. Then the next question is yung 3 prongs. That's where the most difficulty that you will face if you're gonna apply for the national interest waiver. Babalikan natin on other categories mamaya, Arman ha, balikan kita dyan. Or i-copy-paste mo mamaya yung question mo. Kung subject pa rin sa 2-year rule, the NIW is not applicable pa rin pala, attorney. Unfortunately, kung subject ka nga sa NIW, you could apply for the NIW. Again, paano ko ba sagutin? NIW is just another visa type. Okay? Just like O1 extraordinary ability or exceptional ability. I think what you are saying, ma'am, is kung subject pa rin ako, hindi applicable ang NIW, not necessarily correct though. Kasi kahit subject ka, you could still apply for NIW. But I think what you meant is, kung subject ako at mag-qualify ako ng NIW, uuwi pa rin pala ako. I think that's what you meant, right? If you are subject, then uuwi ka talaga after 5 years. But if you know that you will qualify for NIW, you have the option now of ituloy ko ba yung 5 years or I would rather go home or apply for a waiver. Once those are complied with, mag-apply na ako ng NIW with or without my employer. I think that's the better context ng question mo, no? Kasi you could qualify for NIW, and in some cases, NIW is still favorable to the applicant even if they are subject to the 212E. Again, ang sinasabi ko, in a specific conversation about NIW extraordinary ability, the best approach is for you to consult with a lawyer and discuss what's best for you, right? But then again, ang importante lang na malaman mo sa live na to is, if I will qualify for NIW, is it worth applying for it? So sa maraming consideration, nasa 4th year ka na ba? Nasa 5th year ka na ba? Nasa 1st year ka ba? So I think you need to have a consultation with a lawyer if applying NIW is best for you. Okay? So, klaruhin ko lang. Even if you are subject to the 212E, but if you qualify for NIW, there might still be advantages for you to apply for NIW. Hindi ka nga lang pwede mag-apply ng green card. No. So, without the waiver or going back to the field to the home country, if you are subject to the 212E. If you are not subject, then NIW, if you qualify, is best for you. Attorney, there are needed recommendation requirements for the NIW? Yes. So again, the specific requirements of whether NIW extraordinary ability, hindi natin pag-usapan ngayon sir kasi hindi kaya yung oras natin. But nandun yun boss to actually support your claims na magaling ka, that the nature of your work is very important to the endeavor and so on. So maraming requirements yun. And one of them is basically the recommendation letters from peers, from superiors, or from other people, credible people, no? Si Cindy, pwede ba mag-apply ng J2 for NIW? Yes, pwede sila if they qualify. How long it takes the processing of petition of a spouse? Depende sa ano. So again, sagutin ko lang to depende sa kung US citizen. If you're citizen, 9 months, 1 year, approved na yon. Pag green card holder, minimum 2 years. If I have consecutive excellent performance for my yearly evaluation, will it be possible to use the EB? So again, EB is employment-based, right? So can you just complete your concern, ma'am? Is it possible to be used on EB? Kasi the EB categories, generally speaking, requires an employer to file a petition for you. So halimbawa, kung EB3 ka, because elementary teacher ka or secondary teacher ka that doesn't require master's degree or ano man, and the employer wants to file an immigrant petition for you, that's what EB means Now, kung i-apply na yung green card mo or mag-a-apply ka na ng immigrant visa outside the United States. So, maraming categories nga, EB1, EB2, EB3. Okay? So, pinag-usapan natin ngayon, EB2 categories and EB1. Okay? So, kung ang sinasabi lang niya, if I have excellent performance every year evaluation, will that be possible to be used for EB? Whether, regardless of your performance, ma'am, hindi siya basihan kung pwede ba siyang gamitin or EB. At the end of the day, yung relevance ng question mo is kung susuportaan ka ba ng employer mo to apply for your green card, which is EB. No? Kung magaling ka, of course, your employer is willing to or will be willing to file your immigrant petition for you, even in cases where J1 visa subject to ka. So, ang ginagawa namin, habang pauwi ka sa home country mo at you are still waiting for your 2 years, might as well start na the green card application for you para pagbalik mo, green card ka na. Hindi ka na mag-J1, hindi ka na mag-H1B. Now, and we've been doing that for the number of school districts that we are helping. Hello, Sir Sex. Enjoy Hawaii. Pwede ba mag-apply ng NIW during home rule? Yes, right? But then again, sir, if you are subject to the 212E, you still have to complete your 2 years, right? But the good thing about this is if pumasa ka sa NIW, hindi mo na kailangan ng employer. No? Pwede ka na mag-self-petition, you are in a better position to apply for as long as you continue with the specialty area mo. Tangkabs, meron po bang expiration ang approved NIW if mag-decide to comply with the 212E? Yeah, meron namang validity ang NIW and it can always be extended. So of course, when you actually talk to the lawyer, i-consider din niya no, kung ano ba ang the best time to file if you are subject to the 212E. Okay? NIW, just like any other visa, has expiration dates, but it can be extended for as long as you qualify doon sa requirements ng NIW. Okay? So again, just to answer the question, is there expiration in NIW? Yes. Can you apply while you are outside? Yes. Okay? But I would recommend that you consult with a lawyer. Judith, on my 3rd year attorney, subject to but I have my master's. Can I apply for NIW? So again, you can apply because you have a master's degree, but then we have to take a look whether or not you will pass the 3-prong test. Yun yung mahirap. So again, ma'am, no, if you are really interested on that, I would recommend that you consult with an immigration lawyer. Hindi siya depende kung ano, ma'am. Hindi siya depende kung sa state, kung saan state ka, right? So again, For as long as you will qualify for that, you will pass the 3-prong test, you will be approved of NIW. Kapag approve ang NIW I-140, pwede na ba akong ma-offera ng district ng H1, although subject to? So again, ma'am, no, yung NIW kasi, parang H1B lang din yan. Parang O1 lang din yan. Parang any other type of visa lang yan, right? So the NIW doesn't give you authority to work. So ibig sabihin, kung pumasa ka ng NIW at subject ka sa 212E, you still have to comply with the waiver or the 2-year home residence requirement para makapag-apply ka na ng green card. So again, nakakalito kasi employment-based categories nga siya, no? So pag na-approve mo yung NIW, the NIW mo, yung next step mo kasi doon is mag-apply ng green card. Hindi na ng ibang other visa categories. Okay? So, kung na-apply yung NIW mo, don't think about H1 anymore. Don't think about applying for another J1 anymore. Because the next step mo is mag-apply ng green card. Ang question na lang, are you not subject to the 212E? Or do you have an approved waiver? Or you already have complied with the 2-year home residence requirement? If the answer to those 3 questions is yes, then apply for a green card immediately. So, hindi na other visa categories. Pero kung subject ka to the 212E, again, look for the waiver or comply with the 2-year home residence requirement. Once ma-comply mo yung any of the 2, apply for the green card agad. Yeah. So I hope I clarified that. No? How many months ma-apply ang NIW? NIW can be premium process. Ibig sabihin, you apply if the government is convinced with the arguments, 3 weeks, approve na ang NIW. Okay? Ganun siya kabilis. Irene, I have consecutive, except again, nasagot na natin to kanina, no? So how many months ma-approve ang NIW? Again, 3 weeks. You can have your NIW approved. What is national hardship? Ma'am, walang national hardship, ma'am, no? National interest waiver. Pag-uusapan natin mamaya yung extraordinary ability or exceptional ability, right? I think what you meant is the exceptional hardship. So yung exceptional hardship, ma'am, it's really a big conversation. I would recommend that you search or you watch my other videos talking about exceptional hardship. But for now, we'll just talk about the 3 big things: NIW, extraordinary, so exceptional ability, and extraordinary ability. Attorney, can you clarify, are J1 visa holders need to undergo 212E rule? Clarification, our J1 visa holders need to undergo 212E rule. So, dalawang klase ang J1 visa holders, right? So, the J1, you can look into your visa stamp or or your DS 2019. Kung tapos ka na, nag-interview sa embassy, at merong markings kasi doon eh. So, your visa would actually say, you are subject to or you're not subject to 212E. So, hindi mo kontrolado yon. It really up to the US Embassy to determine that. Marami silang factors na kinoconsider. So, to determine whether you are subject to or not subject to, just simply look into your visa or your DS 2019. If your visa or visa and DS 2019 says you are not subject to, good for you. If you are subject to, yun yung pag-usapan na natin yung waiver or going home after 5 years, right? Kung hindi magkatugma yung dalawa, that's when you come in and seek for advisory opinion. Okay, naklaro natin yun, Ma'am Mariana, Ma'am Alikaway, exceptional hardship. So, okay, regarding sa NIW na walang master's po, but bachelor's degree and the experience is exclusive education teacher for 5 years po. Yeah, so ito yung sinasabi nga natin, ma'am, na meron kang 5 years progressive experience on the specialty area, then you could still qualify for NIW. Yun yung parang basic requirement, right? Christine, if na-approve po yung NIW, then makomply na din to yung residence requirement. Pagbalik po sa USA, eligible for apply for green card. Ma'am, kahit nasa labas ka pa ng US, pwede ka na mag-apply ng green card, right? NIW can be processed in 3 weeks. Then, i-file mo na yon. So, kung kunwari, yung employer mo willing pa rin mag-sponsor sa'yo, then they could actually file your petition. Or kung kunwari man, no, ayaw mo na dun sa state mo or ayaw mo na dun sa school mo, but na-approve yung NIW mo, you could actually use that to your advantage by applying to the state or to the school that you are very interested in to work and tell them na, hey, NIW ako, meron ako approved waiver, I only need to file my green card. The best is, you don't even need an employer if you are already approved of an NIW. So just go ahead and apply for the green card yourself. No? Then, pasok ko, apply ka sa kung school kung saan mo gusto. So that's the good thing about having an approved NIW. So yeah, to answer your question, you can apply for the green card immediately, even if you are outside the United States. May lugar po ba for NIW if you are part of a STEM? As a matter of fact, if you are part of the STEM, there's more advantages for you to apply for the NIW. So again, I would recommend, hindi ko nakikita yung pangalan nyo na to consult with an immigration lawyer to explore that arena. Marla or Maria, when is the best time to apply for NIW? Fourth year, fifth year? So again, if you think you will qualify for NIW, right away, apply for NIW. Kasi kaya siyang ma-approve in 3 weeks kung walang problema yung application natin. What if po hindi ka umuwi ng Philippines, tas na permanent resident ka na sa New Zealand, halimbawa, tas pumasa ka ng NIW, hindi ba nila? So, ito yung sinasabi natin, Mano, kung subject ka to 212E at hindi ka bumalik sa Philippines, but you obtain your visa in the Philippines, hahanapan ka pa rin nila nung 2-year home residency requirement. Pero, kung hindi ka subject to the 212E, it doesn't matter kung saan ka nagstay nung umalis ka ng US. Kahit first year of teaching in the US, pwede mag-apply ng NIW. H1B visa here po with 10 years experience in teaching. So, ma'am, kung H1B ka, you don't need to apply for NIW, right? Just convince your employer to file the green card for you. But, okay, sorry, let me retract. So, I think what you're saying is, H1B ako, 10 years experience in teaching sa Philippines, but ayoko maghintay ng 2 years para simulan ng employer ko yung aking labor certification process. Can I apply for NIW? Yes. Kung qualified ka ng NIW, you could basically apply the NIW plus your green card without waiting for your employer, without asking for your employer. You can actually do it yourself if you think you have a strong case for NIW. Okay, so that's good, ma'am. Maris. Hindi po ba maapektuhan ang J1 status if na-approve ka ng NIW? Pwede din patapusin ang 5 years and so on. So, this is the problem though with the J1 visa, right? The moment na malaman ng J1 sponsor mo na nag-apply ka ng another visa while you are on a J1. So, in this case, ma'am, nag-apply ka ng NIW, whether pag na-approve siya, then USCIS will notify your visa sponsor that you are no longer a J1 visa kasi meron ka ng NIW. So it means if you are subject to the 212E at wala kang waiver or you have not complied with your home residency requirement, baka pauwiin ka. No. So again, I really don't recommend for people who will qualify for NIW kung hindi ka willing umuwi to apply for NIW. So again, ito yung sinasabi nga natin na if you think you qualify for NIW, the best thing you need to do is consult with an immigration lawyer para mas klaro sa'yo kung anong what's best for you. The only good news is you know that you will qualify for NIW. Kate, ang NIW, can we do that ourselves or need po ng school sponsorship? So again, if NIW ka and you think you qualify, you can self-petition. You don't need a sponsor. Can you discuss further yung EB2, EB3 for teachers? Okay. So again, EB is employment-based, right? So nag-iiba lang yung category ng 2 at saka 3. So yung EB2, ang category na po-fall doon are teachers with advanced degree, for example, SPED teachers. Pwede sila mag-qualify ng EB2. Dito din nagka-qualify ang national interest waivers or pwede din dito papasok yung exceptional ability na napag-uusapan natin doon. So yun lang yung pasok sa EB2. Ang EB3, ito yung mga bachelor's degree. So, elementary teachers, kindergarten teachers, or any other professions na ang trabaho nila does not require a master's degree, pasok dun sa EB3. Sir, pag nagpapasa po J2, yung J1 po ba uuwi po? I don't quite understand the question. Hi sir, pag nagpapasa po J2, yung J1 po ba uuwi po? Okay. So I think what you said is, kung pumasa po ba ang J2, yung J1 ba uuwi? If the J1 is subject to the 212E, yes. How long processing ng green card kung nandito sa Pilipinas at matatapos na yung 2-year home rule? So yung green card process na yun, minimum 2 years. From the time that your employer started the green card, the labor certification. When is the best time to apply for NIW? For I want to finish my 5 years po and go home. So again, ma'am, no, I would recommend that you consult a lawyer. And so better kung nandito ka pa to discuss that, right? So again, since NIW can be processed in 3 weeks, then you could basically finish your J1 and apply at a later date. Pero best scenario mo, kasi nga pwede pa rin mag-request for evidence, right? Kasi kung kulang yung arguments mo, there's advantage na nandito ka pa while you're applying for NIW. So again, general rule is consult a lawyer. Kung timeline lang pag-usapan natin, siguro April, March of your last year could be the best time to apply for NIW kung gusto mo pa rin na matapos yung J1 visa. Attorney, sorry, I joined the live. Ano po requirements pa NIW? Okay. So, Kate, pa-review na lang ng live, no? For the, ano din sa iba. Ma-review naman ang slides. You can review what the requirements are. Having a master's degree in the field of specialization a good basis for EB2, EB3. So, again, EB2, ang magka-qualify lang talaga ngayon ng EB2 sa teacher, sa education na industry are the SPED. Kasi some states require master's degree for their SPED teachers. So yun, pasok sila sa EB2. Or if you would want to apply for national interest waiver or exceptional hardship, exceptional ability, then you will qualify for EB2. The rest will fall under EB3. So yung EB3, medyo matagal-tagal yung paghihintay. Mas mabilis yung EB2. Hi Marilyn. As po ako, yung husband ko po nagkasakit, need po niya magpa-check up sa US kasi walang improvement po, last option. Okay, again ma'am, no, it's really difficult to give a specific advisory kasi this needs to be discussed further, ma'am, yung fact pattern mo, no? Can you just send a message to us to talk about this particular case? Buhay Guro sa Amerika. Hello po. Will they be certain as to master's degree major or specific major for PHP, or that doesn't matter? Because I finished doctor in development education, major in supervision and administration. So, okay, very good question, ma'am or sir, right? So when you apply for the national interest waiver or exceptional ability or extraordinary ability, especially sa NIW, ma'am, dapat yung master's degree mo is related to the endeavor, right? So dapat gagamitin mo siya doon. So hindi pwede na master's degree lang of anything, no? So you really have to prove na yung master's degree mo magagamit mo doon sa specialty area mo. So kaya nga, kung wala kang master's degree, pwede naman yung bachelor's degree plus 5 years progressive experience in the field of expertise. No? So, ano ka mama, i-dissect ko tong question mo, ha. So, will they be certain as to master's degree major of a specific for Philippines? So again, kung saan mo nakuha yung master's mo doesn't matter. Ang importante lang is yung master's degree mo is specific to the area of expertise para mag-qualify ka sa national interest waiver. Pending B1 application dito sa US, pwede ba mag-apply while may pending exceptional hardship? Anong i-apply natin, ma'am? Can you just clarify on that? Then I'll see kung mabasa ko mamaya. If approve ang NIW and comply the 212E, since di ma-adjust ang status attorney, ano ang best time na magpa-adjust ng status habang siniserve ang 2-year home rule? So, again, sa ngayon kasi, kung NIW ka, it means na meron kang, you pasok ka sa EB2, right? And if you are complying with the 2-year home residence requirement, since hindi ka naman makabalik unless you comply with the 2 years, ang NIW naman is ma-approve in 3 weeks, right? But I fully understand na kung ang strength ng NIW mo is based on the achievements mo as of today, then you might consider applying the soonest time possible, right? But if you think that you stay outside the US, you could gather more documentation to support your NIW, then you might actually apply that towards the later part of your 2-year home rule. So then again, no, I really recommend that you consult with a lawyer when you think you qualify for NIW para mabigyan kayo ng best advice as to the timing, as to the requirements, kasi it really has to be discussed in a case-to-case basis. Can teachers with master's degree in the field of specialization in under J1 reserve for EB2, EB3? So, karawi ko lang, no? So again, if you're subject to the 212E, whether EB2 or EB3 ka, you cannot apply for a green card unless you comply with the 2-year home residency requirement or you have a waiver. What do you mean by progressive experience? So yung progressive experience kasi, depende yun ma'am sa load mo, no? So in the case of the teachers, when you actually say progressive experience, it is again case-to-case basis. The government will look into the nature of your teaching load or the nature of whatever subject matter that you actually handle during the year, and they will have an assessment kung sa tingin nila pasok, nag-i-improve ka or nagpo-progress yung in terms of responsibility mo or jurisdiction mo with regards to your role. So again, I would recommend, that's why when people would want to have a consultation with us, we really would want to have a copy of the resume to start the conversation whether pasok siya sa NIW, exceptional ability, or extraordinary ability. So case-to-case basis talaga siya ma'am para ma-determine kung yung progressive. But again, progressive means yung specialty area mo, titingnan natin yung load mo, nature of work mo, and so on. Maraming factors yun. J1 not subject to 212E po ako, Bachelor in Elementary Education, Master in Educational Leadership Management, PhD SPED, oh wow, but not state awardee. I am on my 3rd year and is under extension process. I would like to explore if I can qualify for NIW. So I would recommend ma'am, again, consult with any immigration lawyer, submit your resume. They would be able to assess if you would qualify for NIW. Okay? So I cannot discuss the specific detail of your situation or case. Joanne, paano kung nasa Pilipinas, hindi nag-J1 or any other visa and would try to apply? Yeah, that's a good question, no? You could basically apply for NIW even if you haven't been in the United States. You just have to argue that your presence in the US will be beneficial to the United States. Good, ma. Kung nag-qualify ka dyan, explore NIW. So, is it true that the 2-year residency means teaching in either public or private school? Even if you don't teach when you go home, you still comply with the 2-year home residency requirement. Okay? So, kailangan lang nila na nasa Philippines ka or the last country of residence, you will comply the 2-year home residency requirement. Malalaman po ba ng visa sponsor mo, mag-apply ka ng NIW, wait, ma-extend? Yes, ma'am. Pag once na-apply ka ng change of status and it's approved, then USIS will inform your visa sponsor na na-approve ka na ng another visa type. Subject ako sa 2-year rule, tapos qualified ako sa NIW, pero na-petition ako ng asawa ko, need pa rin umuwi. Again, ang interpretation ko dito, ma'am, kung na-petition ka ng asawa mo, then there's no need for you to apply for NIW, right? Kasi the NIW is a requirement for you to apply for the green card. But whether NIW yon or based on the spouse visa yon, if you are subject to the 212E, you still need to go home unless you have a waiver. Now, unahan na kita dito, ma'am, no? So kung waiver ang issue mo, whether you are married to a US citizen or a green card holder, you might qualify for exceptional hardship to comply with the waiver. Now, so kung ayaw mo magapin ng waiver, then the next option mo is to go home and comply with the 2-year home residency requirement. If in case ma-qualify po kami to apply for NIW, how much naman po approximately we need? So, ma'am, I'm sorry, I would not be talking about the fees dito kasi nga we really encourage you to consult para mapag-usapan natin yung case nyo. So, yung national interest waiver kasi, depende on the nature ng area mo, it has to be discussed case-to-case basis kasi arguments yung isa-submit. Hindi siya uniform for everybody, hindi siya yung form lang, it is argumentative na petition. So, I would recommend na mag-consult ka. Regine, J1 teacher po, if after 3 years po, ang contract then while continue for 5 years, pwede ba i-apply NIW? So again, yung pag-a-apply is not a question. No? Ang question lang natin if you qualify for the eligibility requirements. So you have a master's degree, you have the 5 years plus progressive experience. Again, those are the easiest part of the NIW. Ang pinakamahirap talaga is yung 3 prongs. And the best way to give you an advice on whether or not you will qualify on those 3 is by setting up an appointment with an immigration lawyer. Okay, so last question na lang to guys. Susunod na ako dun sa next topic natin, else hindi natin matatapos yung topic natin ngayon, right? So we've been talking for 1 hour and 20 minutes now. I can only thank you for joining us even if magno-New Year na, no? But I need to go to the next slide, else hindi tayo matatapos. So last na lang for Shane. For instance, the district decided to sponsor the teacher for green card while the teacher is serving the 2-year home rule. May I know how long it will take the process to complete? So kagaya ng sinabi ko, it's basically minimum 2 years from the time the employer said, we're gonna start your labor certification process. Now, the good thing about the labor certification is, hindi siya per person, right? So it's basically per position. So ibig sabihin nun, pag nagsimula na yung school mo ng labor certification for elementary teachers, so for, let's say, right? And it's been pending for 1 year and a half. And then nakita ka nila, then you don't need to wait for 2 years. Kasi pag na-approve na yung labor certification and the employer mo would want you to be added in that application, pwede yun. So again, maraming factors and so on. But let's just assume na hindi pa nasimulan ang labor certification, it will require at least minimum 2 years. Okay guys, we'll cut na the conversation about national interest waiver. We'll now talk about the EB2 exceptional ability or O1. So ano naman ang kinakailangan sinasabi niya? So, di ba ang sabi natin, pag kunwari daw, hindi ka pasok doon sa master's degree. So then, you could apply for exceptional ability. The exceptional ability only requires, so again, advantage nga ng area na to, no labor certification is required. However, ang difference niya sa national interest waiver, kailangan mo ng job offer. So even if pasok ka dito, unlike the national interest waiver, you still need an employer to petition you. Okay? The good thing about the exceptional ability though is, unlike the national interest waiver, and I will summarize the difference between the two, right? Hindi mo kailangang mag-apply ng green card. So in a way, the exceptional ability is better compared to the NIW because you don't have to go home even if you're subject to the 212E. Okay. For as long as papasa ka sa requirements. So, ano bang requirements niya? So, dapat bachelor's degree, tama? And then, pasok tayo doon sa 3 years, any of these. Right? So, nandun natin sa bachelor's degree plus the 3-prong test plus progressive experience. So, kung ano yung requirement dun sa NIW, kailangan natin kunin yun. And then you have to prove 3 of the following, at least 3. In my practice, I normally add 1 or 2 additional argument. para kung hindi tatanggapin ng government yung documentation natin, then we have other things to do. So isa-isahin natin ha, ano ba kailangan for me to prove na meron akong compliance doon sa exceptional ability? Again, exceptional ability, you don't have to prove that you are the best in your industry. You only need to prove that you are exceptional to the industry. So medyo lamang ka ng konti, right? So kung kunwari sa school nyo, medyo ikaw yung awardee doon, pwede kang lumamang. But dapat, yung lamang na yon, dapat din commensurate doon sa remuneration. Magaling ka no? Compared to the rest, magaling ka. So dapat na-acknowledge ng employer yon at binigyan ka ng extra points doon for your sa sweldo mo. So isa-isay natin. Ano bang kailangan natin to prove that you will qualify for the exceptional ability? Dapat may bachelor's degree ka. So meron kang bachelor's degree, certification, diploma. At least meron kang 10 years full-time experience in the expertise area. Okay? Kailangan ang salary or remuneration mo for services that demonstrate your exceptional ability. Medyo mas mataas ka kumpara sa mga kasama mo dahil nga exceptional ka. You are a member of a professional association. So kung SPED ka, there's a special group for SPED teachers, dapat member ka doon. Okay? Recognition and significant contribution to your industry or field. So, hindi niya sinasabing state level recognition. So kung kunwari district recognition yon, we could still consider that as proof na you are exceptional. You have the exceptional ability. The rest, kung wala ka dito sa 1 to 5, say anything that you think would help in our case, we will use that in the argument. What we are trying to say is, you could still qualify for exceptional ability even if you don't have a master's degree, for as long as you can show 3 of the 10, and still, we will be able to prove the 3-pronged test under the EB2. Ito yung pinag-usapan natin kanina. Now, so ibig sabihin, yung mga audience natin ngayon na walang master's degree, huwag kayong mawala ng pag-asa because you could still fall into the exceptional ability, right? But, mas mabilis yun, but we still have to comply with this. Okay? Which we already discussed. So, to summarize between the national interest waiver and the exceptional ability O1, who can petition? If NIW ka, you can self-petition or your US employer will petition on your behalf. Pero kung exceptional ability, you need a US employer to file the petition for you. Both application can be filed on premium process, meaning it can be approved in 3 weeks. Ability to work, national interest waiver, you must complete the green card application before you can work in the US, or if you're outside the US, you have to complete the consular process. Ibig sabihin, mag-interview ka sa embassy on an immigrant visa. If the O1 ka naman, you can apply or change status here in the United States, or if you're outside the US, you could still file your O1 and apply for O1 visa at the US embassy. Then you come in, right? Again, even if you are subject to the 212E, the embassy might consider your O1 ability to be able to come back and extend your J1. Meron nga lang, ano yon, may problema yon, right? Kasi kung kunwari, nag-qualify ka nga ng O1, gusto mo ayaw mong umuwi or gusto mong makabalik agad. And then you've been O1 and O1 kasi it can be extended for as long as you continue to work in the area of your specialization, mapapagod ka, 20 years ka na naging O1, right? And then gusto mo nang mag-green card. Balik na naman tayo sa conversation. An O1, pag mag-apply ka ng green card, tatanungin ka pa rin, are you formerly a J1 visa holder? Yes. Have you complied with your 2-year home residency requirement? No. Have you applied for a waiver? No. Green card is denied. So, yun lang yung kaibahan ng dalawa. Okay? So, let's answer questions about O1 and NIW before tayo pupunta doon sa extraordinary ability. Christine, posible po bang makinig ko nasa 5th year na po ako? Yes, but then again, if you are subject to the 212E, you will not be able to get your green card unless you have a waiver or the 2-year home residency requirement na comply mo na yan. So, generally speaking though, ang experience ko generally speaking, the Department of State or USIS will notify your visa sponsor once the change of status is approved. Kung na-deny siya, wala pa akong narinig na notify nila yung sponsor. I mean, I can be wrong, right? But based on experience ko, they only notify when it's approved. May pending non-immigrant visa application, pwede ba mag-apply ng NIW and na yun ang J1 program? Meron kang pending na non-immigrant visa application. I presume J1 to B1, B1 to B2, J1 to B2. Pwede ba mag-apply ng NIW? So again, the NIW requires you to apply for the green card to be able to. So kung ang question lang is pwede mag-apply, of course you can apply. Is it beneficial for you? I really recommend to consult a lawyer to have that conversation. Ask ko lang po, iba po din ba yung IGA? Yes, the interested government agency is another type of waiver. Unfortunately, the BIE, the Bureau of Indian Education, no longer accepts BIE application now. Subject po ako ng 212E, pero willing po ang school namin na i-usean ang visa namin. Ano pong best waiver? So, again, ma'am, no, if you are married to a U.S. citizen or you have a U.S. citizen child, apply for exceptional hardship. Sana nag-apply ka ng IGA if your school was under ng Bureau of Indian Education. Unfortunately, they no longer accept those type of waivers. Or you can apply for the no objection statement from the Philippine government. Palmores, I am J1 about not subject to 1-2E. I have 16-year teaching experience, fluent in both Spanish and English. Oh, that's good for you, sir. So, ang recommendation ko, I would talk to your employer to start your H1B. If you don't know the process, we can help. We can connect. You can connect us to them. April, yes, you can contact us. Nasa baba ng banner ng ano natin, ma'am, live namin, yung contact ng office namin. So, Cherry, we are now on our 4th year, and like you said, if we think we qualify NIW as soon as possible, but my question is, what will happen to us po if in case di ma-approve ang application? Uuwi ba agad o maka-apekto? So, again, no, sa experience naman namin, the Department of State or USS normally notifies the visa sponsor once the application is approved. Attorney, pag napakasal po ba ang J2 sa American, uwi po ba ng J1? They can apply, ma'am, for a waiver. Zinia, my 3rd year na po as J1 spec. Can I apply for NW? Again, if you qualify, yes, you may. Can a J1 teacher holder apply for NW even if her early years of teaching in the US, like months pa lang, or during her 1st year in the US? So again, NIW, dapat qualified ka na agad sa green card, right? So if you're subject to the 212E, I don't recommend filing for NIW, but you might apply for O1 exceptional ability. Okay? But then again, with what is best for those two, I really recommend you consult a lawyer to give you better guidance on the two. So basically, ang purpose ng live natin ngayon is now you have an understanding of what NIW means, what exceptional ability means, and later we'll talk about extraordinary ability. No? And then, based on that information, you could basically have an initial assessment, what's best for you, or at least malalaman mo na, qualify pala ako ng NIW, or exceptional hardship, or extraordinary ability. Then, for better guidance, consult a lawyer para mas sigurado kayo sa gagawin. Ariel, we can only apply for adjustment of status as even if the visa is current, right? Correct. So, but generally speaking naman, ang EB2 category ng Philippines is always current. So, may times na nag-retrogress, bumabalik na naman yan. So, again, good point. Retrogression still factor in your ability to apply for the green card. So, Claire, after J1 5 years program as a SPED teachers, can we request the employer directly to petition you an EB2 visa after you comply the 212? Or again, ang sinasabi namin, Claire, even before you go home to comply with your 2-year home residency requirement, if your employer has signified that they are willing to file your green card application, even pa hindi kayo umuwi, right? Hindi pa kayo uuwi. Uuwi pa lang kayo, I would recommend to start the green card conversation with your employer. If they don't know the process, again, you can connect us to them so we can explain to them what needs to be done. Siya, I noticed that exceptional hardship nag-average na ang 2+ years ang approval time. Can I jump for a student visa while waiting for the result due to life-threatening medical issue? So, ma'am, kung may life-threatening medical issue, I would recommend that kanino ba mayroong life-threatening? Sa US citizen qualifying relative or sa applicant or the J2? So, kung ang life-threatening, a medical issue is on the qualifying relative, I would recommend expediting the hardship waiver. Pero kung hindi sa qualifying relative, I would recommend filing the NOS with a request of expedited adjudication based on life-threatening medical issues. Kasi mas mabilis pa rin yung NOS. I am job hunting in the Philippines. I have a vertical degrees through educational unit. So, hindi ko maintindihan. Again, I don't see the name, right? So, hindi ko maintindihan, ma'am, kung ano yung question. Please recommend any relevant info on my case. I am still job hunting here in the Philippines. I have vertical degrees through one educational unit earner ko, AB English, Math English, and PH English with FC already with more than 20 years teaching abroad in the Philippines. So, hindi ko alam, ma'am, kung nag-a-apply ka ng job or are you asking for waiver options or other immigration options? Kaya, can you clarify with that? Medyo hindi lang klaro sa akin. Attorney, kapag nag-green card po ba, dapat nandito ka lang sa US or okay lang umuwi sa Pilipinas kapag bakasyon? Yes, you could basically go home to the Philippines. Ang recommendation namin is, don't stay outside the Philippines for 6 months or more. It will affect your citizenship. Don't stay outside the US for 1 year or more. You will automatically lose your status. Assuming H1 is granted, can I still apply for NIW? Yes, if you would want to fast track your green card application and if you qualify. I have obtained US state license from Illinois and so again. So, pabalik-balik itong question na to, I just proceed with the next and last topic natin. No, extraordinary ability. So again, while I am talk about the NIW and O1 extraordinary ability, exceptional ability, my last topic will be extraordinary ability O1. And I only have 4 slides left. So if you have more questions, please write them down on our comment section and try to answer them, right? So ano naman tong extraordinary ability? So naalala mo kanina yung table natin, mataas yung EB1. This is basically employment-based category preference, first preference. Dito papasok yung extraordinary ability. If you're gonna apply for this, you must claim that you are one of the very best. Ito yung requirement natin na dapat yung national recognition mo or award must be at a state level. No? This is not for everybody. But if you think you will qualify, maganda ding opportunity itong extraordinary ability na to. So again, no labor certification is required. You can self-petition, right, to be an O1. It can be premium process. You can start the job as soon as the visa is approved, right? And you can stay on the O1 for as long as you continue to work in your field. The problem is, when there comes a time na gusto mo na mag-green card, balik na naman tayo dun sa may waiver ka ba? Nag-comply ka ba ng 2-year home residency requirement? So, kung J1 visa holder ka and you are subject to the 212E and you are now going towards the 5th year mo and you think you will qualify for extraordinary ability, go for it. Okay? Pag-usapan natin. Ano bang requirements niya? So, unlike the national interest waiver, hindi niya sinasabing mayroon kang master's degree. Even if wala kang degree, you could still qualify for extraordinary ability for as long as tawag nito, you could prove 3 of the following. But again, what we recommend daw is sobrahan natin ng konti yung 3 kasi tawag nito, pag hindi nagustuhan ng USCIS yung arguments mo, marang sasalo doon sa pagpapasa natin ng 3. Okay? May kalaruin pala ako doon sa eligibility requirement ng education between extraordinary ability, and exceptional ability. Balikan natin yung slide ng table ko mamaya. But to talk about extraordinary ability, you have to prove three of the following: evidence of receipt of nationally or internationally recognized prizes or awards for excellence. So, kung state level teacher of the year ka, you would qualify for extraordinary ability. Evidence of membership in association that requires outstanding membership achievement. So, unlike kanina sa exceptional ability, yung extraordinary ability, hindi enough na member ka lang sa isang group. Dapat yung membership mo, elite group yun. So example, there are professions that you can only be a member of if meron kang awards on something, right? Or meron siyang extra requirement for you to be a member of. Ito yung pinag-uusapan natin dito sa number 2. Okay? Evidence of membership in association in the field which demand outstanding achievement of their members. So may extra requirement siya to be a member. Number 3, evidence of published material. So if you actually have published, and I think I've seen questions kanina na, hey, PhD ako, meron akong mga published publication, published articles and so on. Yeah, we can use that as proof on number 3. Number 4, evidence that you have been asked to judge the work of others. So hindi to judge na kung saan-saan, ha? You have to be judged on the area of expertise mo. So halimbawa, if you were actually an awardee, state level awardee of being the best SPED teacher, no? And then the following year, you were actually called to say, hey, can you be part of the judging panel to select the next awardee? Yun yung pinag-uusapan natin sa number 4, no? Hindi ito basta-basta judge lang kung saan-saan. It must be related to the expertise area. Number 5, evidence of original contribution of major significance to the field, right? Kung kunwari, mayroon kang unique something na na-develop, methodology, articles, whatever, honestly speaking, medyo mahirap to. Number 5 generally applies to researchers and not necessarily on people working in the industry. Pero pag mayroon kang ganon, right? Kung halimbawa, innovator ka or inventor ka, then you could basically use number 5, no? But for teachers, I really don't know what example you can have or bring to the table on number 5. Number 6, evidence of authorship of scholarly articles. Again, if you are a teacher, you are into research, you publish something scholarly, then it was published in a professional or major trade publication, then that will count. So again, halimbawa, yung mga SPED teachers or mga language pathologists, meron silang sariling publication, right? And if their articles are published into that journals or magazines, we can use that on number 6. Number 7, evidence that your work has been displayed are artistic exhibitions. So, halimbawa, you were actually invited as a speaker on a conference and you were able to exhibit your work sa conference na yun. That falls under number 7. Number 8, evidence of your performance leading critical role in distinguished organization. So, dahil nga acknowledge yung expertise mo in the area, so maybe there is the company or an agency in your state that specializes on SPED, right? And then you were actually hired or on a critical role, right? Advisory or whatever, then that can be used in number 8. Number 9, evidence that you command a high salary. So again, dahil sa galing mo, yung employer mo recognizes that, and you are actually given times 2 or times 1.5 higher than the rest of your colleagues in the same specialty area. Magagamit mo yun sa number 9. Number 10, evidence of commercial success in performing arts. Again, obviously, it applies for performing arts. You prove 3 of those 10, then you will qualify for extraordinary ability. So that basically is the content of my slides. The next ones will be just to encourage you on, if you would want to reach to us, you can send a message to I Dream America 2 or Nicholas Caracal na Facebook, or you can actually follow us with our, again, sa mga nagtatanong kanina, anong requirements like NIW or the other waivers than J1, you can visit our websites or join me with my Instagram or my YouTube account to learn more about US immigration updates, right? But the rest, I'm ready now to answer the rest of the question. So Let's see. And again, it's been almost 2 hours now. And again, thank you guys for watching this live. So hindi ko na masasagot lahat, no? So kung ano na lang nakita ko dito, ang sasagutin ko. So, attorney, can we have a recorded copy of this webinar? Yes, it's recorded on my Facebook wall. It's recorded in YouTube. It's recorded in the Filipino Teachers in the US page. So you can actually just search through that and you will see a copy of this. Hello, Brenda from Virgin Islands. It's a beautiful island. Cheryl. Okay. So, tinutulungan pala ako sagutin nila. So, guys, thank you for sharing the live. Hi, attorney. Makawork po ba ang spouse ng O1 pag O1 visa? I think so. So, again, I'm not so sure now. But I think, yeah, the O1 visa, the O1 visa can work. But you have to apply for the work permit. Tama po ba na tinatanggap ang IGA waiver? So, the Bureau of Indian Education actually called us in September and they actually advised us na kung ano na yung meron kami to actually submit it as of September 30 because they are no longer accepting new applications. But don't take my word for it. I would recommend that you consult or you call or you email the Bureau of Indian Education and confirm if they are still accepting IGA waiver applications. Jeneline, so guys, no, to be fair with you and for me as well, I've been talking now for 2 hours. We still have 15 minutes, so take advantage of those of the 15 minutes to answer your question. Pag mag-apply ng NIW and I have to find as J2, ano po mangyayari sa kanila? So, again, ma'am, no, if you will be granted NIW and you will be able to apply for the green card, then your family members will apply for the green card as well. No. But, kung subject ka to the 212E, and damay din sila na kailangan mag-comply if they are subject to the 212E. Maris, if Maria NIW, naapektuhan po ba ang current visa? So again, sinabi ko kanina, most of our experience na bini-verify, ini-inform ang visa sponsor is when the application is approved. So, fourth year po, J1 visa, subject to 1 E, mas pabor po mag-apply na lang ng EB201 kaysa mag-try ng regular NOS. Hindi po, just NOS lang with updates. Okay, so again, I'm glad that you, based on this live, you assess na qualified kasu. I would recommend that you consult with immigration lawyer to discuss really what's best for you. No, can you apply for green card while serving 2 years? Yes, but then again, you should have started that conversation with your employer. If they don't know that, we can help. You can just connect us to them. Asking for waiver options to apply with educational qualification. I'm not so sure about that. If you're asking about the other waiver application that's available for you, depending on the situation, so ma'am, tingnan nyo na lang yung, ma'am or sir, yung YouTube or my wall. Marami kasi tayong live on types of waivers. How long does any of that takes po? 3 weeks. For relevant information, I will just keep in touch with you possible. So again guys, now, medyo komplikado ang conversation about extraordinary ability, exceptional ability, or national interest waivers. Again, pag employment-based categories talaga, komplikado talaga, no? So basic, ang goal ko lang talaga sa live ngayon is to give you basic information. I tried as my best to simplify the presentation I prepared for you to lessen the complication, but complicated talaga pag employment-based. This is the best way I can to talk about the basic principles of. So again, I have 12 minutes left. I'm just trying to maximize that time left. Again, thank you very much. Advance Happy New Year to everybody, right? How about same-sex marriage and both Filipino citizens po? Pasok po ba sa persecution waiver? I don't think you will be able to apply for persecution waiver, boss, but you can apply for exceptional hardship waiver. Marami na kaming na-approve na exceptional hardship waiver based on same-sex marriages. What type of visa waiver po if apply and I've got approved po, attorney? So again, depende sa situation mo, right? If you are married to a US citizen or you have a US citizen child, you might be qualified for exceptional hardship, or you might qualify for no objection statement. Hello, Ma'am Sinya. Right. So again, thank you for messaging us. Somebody will reach out to you next week. So for the time being, we'll enjoy Happy New Year, right? Last question, Ma'am Chassie. Attorney, the achievements and awards obtained in the Philippines ba are also acknowledged when applying for the national interest waiver or recognitions? Yes. So, kung kunwari, wala ka pang award in dito sa US, but you have received a national award in the Philippines, you could basically use that as your ground for the national interest waiver or extraordinary ability. So again, guys, thank you very much. It's almost been 2 hours. Uh, thank you for staying with me and trying to understand these complicated, complex U.S. immigration concepts and principles. But to everybody, happy New Year. And I hope that everyone has a better year in 2024 than they have in 2023. Maraming salamat po. Bye-bye.